Hello, my name's Hannah and I'm Innovation Manager at Blue Yonder Research, and I'm with my colleague Luke.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke. I'm an Innovation Executive here at Blue Yonder.
And thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk through how to utilise in-the-moment technology to understand symptom experience, which is a case study we've ran with our Clickscape technology at Blue Yonder. What we want to take away from today is how we can utilise our technology, which has been heavily used in the FMCG world, in a bit of a different way in tracking symptoms. So the main takeaway today is how this Clickscape data can allow us to accurately track symptoms with minimal impact on the person's life, which is really important to us. We want people to be going about their everyday life as normal, and being able to do that is really key. We'll also talk through how replaying personal symptom data to people has a potential to bring a newfound sense of independence and understanding and control over someone's condition, especially if someone's struggling with recently diagnosed or long-term illness or condition that they have. And then finally, how we have the potential with the in-the-moment data and using it to understand things over time and how things change. So improving that communication between a health practitioner and a patient due to having this new understanding of symptom tracking and allowing this to be tracked over time. So first, let's explain a little bit about what Clickscape is.
So Clickscape is our unique patented technology which allows us to get closer to the moments that really matter. And I think the beauty of Clickscape comes in its simplicity. At the end of the day, it is a button which connects with your app, which provides us data on a dashboard showing us all your in-the-moment thoughts. With Clickscape, there are a potential 3 measures. You have a one click, which is just a single click, and then a double click. And at the end of the day, you've got a combined click of both of those. What we do with Clickscape, it connects to your app. So this receives all the data that you collect through the day by clicking, and you upload it to us at the end of the day from using your Bluetooth on your phone. Clickscape can be used in both qualitative and quantitative research and has been used by some of the biggest companies all over the world. The real key fact about Clickscape is that it really does get you close to the moments which genuinely matter. Clickscape data is 15 times more sensitive than diary-based apps, which means it literally collects 15 times more data than a diary app would. We believe this was something that would be really useful for the world of medical and fibromyalgia.
So what have we been able to get from Clickscape so far? Clickscape's been around for a good 3 to 5 years now with a lot of piloting, and we've trialled it on many different studies. So to give an idea of the types of information we can get with Clickscape is we have managed to settle the age-old debate of who really thinks about sex the most. So we ran a study and we found out that men were thinking about sex a staggering 18 times a day, which was double what women were thinking about. And again, the point there is how we can get that sort of emotional data really easily from people, because all they have to do is click as they're going about the day. It's very easy and to collect quite a sensitive metric there as well. We've also looked down more of the anxiety route and mental thoughts. So we also ran a study during July 2020 when the C word was about, and looked at how many times people were really thinking about that a day and how much mental load that was occupying of the population, and when that was associated with anxiety as well. Again, we've looked at more behavioural metrics as well with Clickscape, so tracking how much people are using water. We found that only about a quarter of people were using water economically, but after seeing their data, consumers were more willing to save water because they realised the true extent of how they were using it with having this data brought to life for them. And then finally, also in the sort of marketing and advertising world, we've looked at, specifically in the food and drink world, how many times people are seeing sustainable messages on pack, but importantly, when and when aren't they believable? And we found that 1 in 3 sustainable messages on packs were not believable to the average consumer, which is quite a staggering metric. So moving on to the case study today, and I'll let Luke introduce the condition of fibromyalgia.
Yeah, so first of all, you might be thinking, what actually is fibromyalgia? It's a chronic disorder characterised by widespread pain and other common symptoms such as fatigue, muscle stiffness and insomnia. What exactly causes fibromyalgia in a person is unknown, but it's thought that around 2 million people in the UK suffer from fibromyalgia. However, what is key about this illness is that there is no cure, meaning that the best way to cope with this condition is by symptom management and trying to track your pain. This is where Clickscape comes in.
So we got to work creating a pilot study at Blue Yonder. And what we did was we had a participant who was 21 years old and recently diagnosed in the past 6 to 9 months with the condition of fibromyalgia. And this, of course, is really important to note that this is a sample size of 1, but this was the first case study of its kind where we were tracking symptoms. We really wanted to just understand if it was feasible and if Clickscape did work for this person. So it's completely building sort of the foundation of knowledge for us to go forwards.
We then got to work creating a personalised and unique Clickscape mission, specifically tailored to the study so that we'd be able to obtain the most amount of data possible. With the beauty of Clickscape studies is that we are able to personalise and make each different mission relevant to exactly what we're trying to find. So we got to work crafting the exactly spot-on mission that we'd be able to get the most out of this study.
And then we asked them to click for around a week, and then at the end of that we designed an interview. And this was really key because we wanted to understand, first of all, a memory recall of the week's events, and obviously this was blinded without seeing the data. This was then, we could replay the Clickscape data and understand how that differs. Is there an improvement in how much they can remember? And then really understanding the impact of that Clickscape data and tracking the symptoms in that way.
So, as you can see on the screen, we've got the Clickscape mission that we uniquely designed. We told our participant to click once when they experienced pain that was manageable. We quantified this as meaning a type of pain that meant you could still carry on with the activity or whatever you were doing just as normal. We asked them to click twice if they experienced a level of pain that was so strong that it stopped them in their tracks, prevented them from continuing what they were currently doing. We believe this was the perfect mission as it would allow us to see all pain, but also see on a more specific detail which types of pain were occurring at certain points throughout the day. So, we had our participants sorted, our Clickscape mission was all set, and the study was all set to begin. But what did we find?
So as we discussed at the start of the interview, we didn't show any data to the participant yet because we wanted to understand that sort of a blind read and the normal ways of asking people how they've been doing if they're suffering with a symptom or trying to understand how often they're experiencing something. And the quote on the screen kind of summarises what the participant said. You know, I've been a bit busy this week, but with my pain it's been fine. In reality, obviously, we'd seen the data, which we'll come on to, but it really highlights how our memories work as human. It's not that we're trying to lie or mask anything, it's just we simply can't remember. It's really difficult to remember all the nuanced moments, and in this case, symptoms that happened over the course of a week. But it's a very normal question to ask, which currently happens in the healthcare industry, is having these weekly, monthly meetings. And so that was really interesting for us to see that the participant couldn't really tell us the nuance of the symptoms that they had actually been experiencing.
And this is the reality of the situation for our participant. So a week in which they viewed as fine contained a total of 77 painful flare-up moments, averaging around 10 moments a day, where the condition of fibromyalgia really impacted their life. We had a look into it and that worked out about 1 every single waking hour. 40 of these moments were significant enough to stop the participant in doing what they were doing. This truly highlighted to us how vital Clickscape could be in really making sure people understood the severity of their symptoms.
And then here we can see with Clickscape, every click is time-stamped as granular as to the second if we want to look at it. But here we've put all the average symptoms over the course of a day onto a time clock. And you can see there the manageable pain events, the severe pain events, and then the total experiences along the top. And with this data, we're able to see trends in conditions, when certain times of the day are really critical and when flare-ups might occur. So it's really getting into the detail to be able to spot those trends and patterns in order to do something to help.
This key quote on the screen really showcases the role that Clickscape can play in helping to understand the symptoms of your illness and the pain. Physios and other people tell me that, and sometimes I forget to listen to it. I can 100% see I get more done when taking my time. This was focusing on the importance of taking breaks. When we showed the participant their data, they could realise exactly the moment when they started to feel pain. On a certain day they were doing something as simple as tidying a wardrobe, but they'd noticed that because they didn't take a break when they were feeling fine, they had a painful flare-up later on in the day. What Clickscape was able to do was really bring that to life. Without this knowledge, they would have simply forgot about such a standard everyday thing that you do. But Clickscape was able to bring it to life to them and help them really understand the importance of something that a physio or a doctor would tell them to do every time. This quote on the screen was taken directly from our participant in the end of study interview. Seeing the symptoms so clearly played out in front of them, tracked so sensitively with Clickscape, allowed them to feel that they could almost break free of the chains that fibromyalgia places around them. My mum can't always be there for the call with my occupational therapist, but I always need someone there to explain things usually. We all know it's very difficult when you've not seen someone in a few weeks and you're asked to summarise how everything's been going. Sometimes you do need someone there with you to almost give you that metaphorical crutch so that they have seen you every day. They can remember the things that you can't. But with Clickscape, I can just show them my symptoms. I won't have to explain it or remember. It means I can go to appointments on my own. Something as simple as going to a doctor's appointment on your own is something that probably you and I take for granted every single time. However, with fibromyalgia, this is something that is taken away. But with Clickscape, we believe that it will empower people and give them the knowledge and the understanding of their own symptoms to be able to give them back that small level of freedom that they once had.
So what this study really shows is how that in-the-moment data and using something like Clickscape, a wearable device, instead of your traditional apps or pen and paper diaries, gives this new level of understanding both for the patient, for someone who's experiencing a symptom, but also probably those who are just diagnosing the symptoms. Obviously it's really early days for us on our journey, but we're really open to learning and to trialling more things with this. But having the data there accurately and a more sensitive metric as well, we're actually getting a bit closer to the real world experiences. It's really important probably for those who are also speaking to the healthcare professionals that are speaking to patients as well, to actually have that data brought to life. The really important thing as well, after getting feedback from the participant on our study and from all of our FMCG research as well, is Clickscape really has a minimal impact on someone's lives. It's there, it's on your wrist, it's on your trousers, however you want to wear it. The button's there and you just click as and when you experience something. It's in the moment, it's quick and it's easy, which is really, really important to obviously increase compliance and make sure people are engaged and taking part. It can also improve healthcare conversations, as we've seen from the quotes from the interview with the participant. You know, with Clickscape, I can just show them what's happened to me. I don't have the pressure of trying to remember it, which again will just hopefully then improve the care that they then get and the advice based on the full picture of the symptom experience. And then finally, it's really important to be able to measure impact over time, obviously with different illnesses and conditions as well, not just this case study. It's how do we have a metric that shows us pre and post treatment or pre and post a medication, for example. And this will really help us understand the impact of them and really get to better treatments, hopefully, and give you that data to show you exactly what's happening. So ultimately, Clickscape is that power to understand a moment, and that could be any moment at any time. And that can be, you can go on that journey with your participant as well. The button's there with them. You can see all the clicks as they go about their everyday lives and really start to understand in more detail what's going on in the real world.
So as this session draws to a close, I think it's worthwhile to revisit the top 3 key takeaways that we mentioned at the start of the session. We believe that we've shown that in-the-moment Clickscape data can really allow us to accurately track symptom experience, as Hannah said, with a minimal impact on people's everyday lives. When compared to the likes of diary apps and writing down things on pen and paper, the action of just clicking a button and uploading at the end of the day is incredibly simple, and we've proven that it has quite a minimal impact on the participant who we use this case study with. We've also shown that replaying personal symptom data can have the potential to bring back that sense of control and independence, especially for someone struggling with a condition or illness. If you think back to the key quote that we talked about just a few minutes ago, the feeling of being able to attend a doctor's or a physio appointment on their own is a feeling of control and freedom that fibromyalgia often takes away. However, with Clickscape acting as that metaphorical crutch, it can help you go on your own and have confidence in what you're talking about. And finally, the fact that in-the-moment data also has the potential to help professionals manage their patients' illnesses and conditions. We believe that Clickscape data, due to its 15 times stronger levels of accuracy, will improve communications and give a true value to appointments, as well as acting as a metric to understand the true impact of treatments and therapies that can be tracked over time. Doctors and professionals would be able to see if certain things are improving their patients' lives, if certain treatments or certain bits of advice are actually working, and allowing them to tailor and tweak when relevant.
Brilliant. So thank you very much for listening. We hope you found that useful. If you'd like to hear any more about the case study, about Clickscape itself, or anything else that we're working on, please just get in touch with us. And yeah, thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you.